Ms. Kelly, you're here today to prove to Mr. Norris that he fathered your 4-month-old twin daughters, Amira and Amia.
Yes,
your hope is that after the DNA results are revealed, Mr. Norris will step up and help take care of his children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Norris, you understand Ms. Kelly's struggle as a single parent because you are a single parent as well. But you claim there is no way you can be the father and have genetic proof. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Kelly, explain, why are you so desperately needing Mr. Norris to step up?
Well, because I have 3 children already, so before all of this happened, I let him know that I didn't want to be another single mom again. It's a lot taking care of 3 kids on my own. I don't have any kind of help. I don't get anything. I don't have any financial support. I can't find, babysitters. If I go to work, I have to pay an arm and a leg for childcare. And I think that since it's 2 parents, we should, co-parent.
Mr. Norris, you admittedly have not stepped up.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't want to become financially or emotionally involved because I'm not the father.
Explain why.
We were not ever in a committed relationship, so...
Well, it doesn't take that to make a baby.
It doesn't take that, but when she told me that she was pregnant, I told her right then and there, I said, well, I'm not going to sit here and say that, there's no possible way I could be the father because we did have sex unprotected, but I didn't finish the deed. We had sex twice. The first time, I was kind of drunk, so I remember it, but I remember not finishing. I kind of came at her with hey, redo type thing, like I need to redeem myself.
Because it was 2 minutes long.
It did happen. We had a second time, regardless. She did tell me she was pregnant, but I told her, till I'm 100% sure, I'm not gonna give you 100%.
You're saying, what does that face mean?
Because for some reason, guys love to have sex, but then they don't want to ever claim what they did. They always want to have sex, and then when a baby comes, it's not theirs. Second time now. I don't want to keep going through this.
I want to understand this relationship. So were you all dating? Were you just having sex?
We met in high school. We were friends in high school. We probably didn't talk, but we met back up at a job, and we got a number. We switched numbers. I called him. We were actually pretty cool to the point you would think we were together, but I didn't never say we were together because I really didn't do boyfriend things. I just was a single mom trying to take care of my baby. So I told him, because he was asking about all this marriage and stuff and having other kids and how he's already a single dad, and he knows I'm a single mom. So for me to sit here and tell him about my life before all this even happened, you would have thought that he would have been more careful, or he would have at least told me
or
hey.
You would have been more careful?
It was because me and him, we were on the same page at the time.
What page is this?
We were calling each other, coming over, I was coming over his house.
But when you call each other and come over to one another's house, that doesn't mean that you have unprotected sex when you both are single parents and can't barely take care of the children you have.
Yeah. I was 19 months celibate, and I told him that I didn't want to have sex because I didn't want to become another single mom of more than one child, because it's already tough.
And so you had made a decision. You're not having sex. You hadn't had sex in 19 months. And then he talked you out of it?
Apparently, because, yeah.
It will never cease to amaze me how you end up having unprotected sex with somebody that they're not even committed to you. They're not, what page is this you on? I have never read this book. If you just talking, you wouldn't be in paternity court. Let's really be honest, if you just talking. I often have to ask young women this very difficult question. If a man doesn't claim you, what would make you think he would claim children? You're saying he wouldn't do anything. He wasn't helping. He didn't provide.
But he knows.
He wasn't present.
But he knows what it was between me and him.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is, why have unprotected sex with a man that you're not committed to? You're just saying y'all were on the same page. I still have not figured out what page that was.
I know that now. Why would I have unprotected sex with somebody I'm not with? Now I know that now because I'm back to being,
And all this falls on you. At the end of the day, you see.
I'm the one with the kids, and I'm the one that has to take care of the kids.
There's that old saying, mama's baby, papa's maybe. Meaning, when you're in a situation, a man can say, I may or may not be the father of this child. And we have, of course, paternity testing to help you get those answers. But until that time, You're definitely the mother.
Yep.
And you're definitely
That's why I
responsible.
gotta take my job serious, because I have 2 kids to raise, or 3 kids to raise, and they're all little babies.
But what I need you to understand is your situation you're in is in large part because of your lack of responsibility. Mr. Norris, what are your other doubts?
For one, we weren't in a committed relationship, so she didn't owe anything to be to be faithful necessarily. Like, she didn't owe that to me. Also, they don't look like me, for one. And I had a buddy of mine that worked with her. He told me that he had overheard her saying to somebody that they were not my children, but they were her first child's father. That he was the father, and it wasn't me.
Did you ever tell anyone that, Ms. Kelly?
No, me and my first child's father are not even on talking terms. He's doing what he's doing. I mean, text messaging, that's probably what it would be, to see if he was gonna step up. But other than that, no, it was nothing to even be talked about him.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Mr. Norris, what are your other doubts?
While she was pregnant, I called on a regular basis. It was never smooth conversation. It was never like, oh, well, I'm a little queasy today, better than yesterday, but everything's good, and thank you for checking up on me. But
and you're not there. Who wants to sit on top
what
of the
all
phone?
can I do, Your Honor? I'm not carrying the child. Only thing I can do is check up on you. I already told you, for one, I'm not sure 100% that I am the father, and I'm not gonna put myself in 100% because I have a 4-year-old that needs my time and my money also. If I am the father, why are you being so hateful and spiteful when we speak on the phone? For what reason? Like, conversations would last no longer than 5 minutes because we couldn't stand on being on the phone with each other because it was always negative. And then I heard the exact same story after the babies were born. I was playing basketball like 2 months ago, right? Buddy of mine, I don't know how the conversation the kids came up. It came up, and I'm like, yeah, I got pending twins. Like, I don't know if I'm a father or not. He's like, Miss Kelly? I'm like, yeah, he's like, so you the other guy? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the other. But it didn't surprise me because, like I said, I heard the story once before.
So you
I
had
still didn't
that same story reinforced
when
after
she was
the
pregnant
children.
and after the children were born. I had the exact same
Probably
story
the
from
same
2
person
completely
that he's
different
talking
people.
about that was invisible. That was Casper, most likely, because it's
These
nobody that can say anything about me. Who was your friend?
Your Honor.
Let me know.
So
who
you're
your friend
saying
is.
this same invisible person told the story twice?
To make me look bad? Because obviously
Your Honor.
his friend wants to be him. Just
It was
as
never
much of
that big a
that he's
deal.
already
I
is.
never even brought it up
I
to
mean,
Miss Kelly.
tell your friend to step up. Tell you to step up.
I never brought it up to her. I can't just go by, oh, she says this, well, she says that, but it further led me to feel that way because it's like she was pushing me out at the same time because I'm like, I'm up here trying to at least have conversation with you, check on you while you were pregnant. You didn't even want to do that much. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You would want...
So
Like-
you're saying your doubt was further fueled by the fact when you called, you were met with negativity and pushback. So you said to yourself, I must not be the father. She doesn't want me around.
Yes, ma'am.
In your court papers, you also stated that you had genetic evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of evidence do you have?
Do you mind if I show you?
I don't mind at all.
right.
Please step forward.
These are the twins. They both have the sickle cell trait. The sickle cell trait can only be passed genetically, which means either the mother has to have it or the father. Once you're said to have the trait, you go back to the doctor. 4 or 5 months later, you get the shot to see if you have the disease, because you can have the trait and not have the disease. I don't have the sickle cell trait, either does money. I went further in investigating myself because my mother's like, well, that's your proof right there, like you're not the father, but I needed a little bit more. I went to the hospital and I checked my records. Records say I don't have the sickle cell trait. They wouldn't let me print my records off because I didn't have an ID.
So you didn't bring that to court today?
No, ma'am. But I checked it out. Don't have the trait. I also went back, looked in my family tree. Diabetes came up, high blood pressure, a couple other different type of cancers, but sickle cell trait did not come up on my mother's side or my father's side. Miss Kelly, her mother doesn't have the trait or her father. And as far as they know, either or, the grandparents don't have it on either side. So with them having the sickle cell trait and it has to be passed down genetically, I don't have it, Miss Kelly doesn't have it. The father has to have it.
Miss Kelly,
Your Honor.
does anyone in your family tree have the sickle cell trait?
No, not that I know of. I don't know how the sickle cell trait came in my babies and neither one of us have it. I was questioning it too, so I really don't know.
Well, the court wanted to get that answer as well. So at this point, I'd like to call medical director of the Sickle Cell Association, Dr. Witten Sherney. Please escort her in. Jerome.
Hello, ma'am. Hi. Maybe come in a minute. Let the witness stand next to the jury. Watch yourself going up the steps.
Thank you, doctor, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I want to first understand, what exactly is sickle cell disease?
Sickle cell disease is a blood disease. It's a disease of the red blood cells, where the red blood cells, they take on an unusual shape. They're shaped like a farmer's sickle. They're sticky and they're fragile, and they block blood vessels, and that causes pain. So one of the hallmarks of sickle cell disease is pain from time to time. Another problem is that people with sickle cell disease don't fight infection well. But we're talking about sickle cell trait now. We're not talking about sickle cell disease.
And what is the difference?
Everybody has 2 hemoglobin genes. You get one from your mother and one from your father. Hemoglobin is the red stuff that's inside the red blood cells. So if you get a normal gene from both parents, you're normal. If you get a sickle gene from one parent and a normal gene from the other parent, you have sickle cell trait. Sickle cell trait is a carrier state. It doesn't cause problems. The main problem that it causes is if both parents have sickle cell trait, there's a 1 out of 4 chance of the child having sickle cell disease.
In the testimony here in this case, Mr. Norris did some research and could not find a sickle cell trait in his family tree.
Okay.
And Ms. Kelly says she also could not identify anyone in her exact lineage that had the sickle cell trait.
The most important thing to understand about that is exactly what kind of research did you do? Because the way to find out whether you have sickle cell trait or not is to get a blood test. And 1 out of 10 African Americans have sickle cell trait. And a lot of times the way young black men find out they have sickle cell trait is when they have a baby with sickle cell disease. And that's not the way to find out. We want people to make informed decisions about childbearing.
And so in this case, both of the twins have the sickle cell trait.
Right.
That means that one of the parents has the trait.
One of the parents has to have sickle cell trait.
So either one of these two have it, or there potentially is another father that does.
Yes. And the good part is that they have sickle cell trait. It's not the disease.
Thank you so much, doctor. This is so informative and so fascinating. So, Mr. Norris, after hearing the doctor's testimony, does this even further confirm your doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Kind of let me know that I was on the right track as to my knowledge on the sickle cell trait. I feel that I'm not the father, for one, because I don't have the trait, neither does she. Ms.
Kelly, how about you?
It did kind of make me like think, should I go get tested for it? But I've never been told, because I've had, a lot of blood taken from having babies. They take your blood. They never came back and said you have sickle cell trait or anything about it.
Do you know that it was tested though for the?
There you go.
No, I have not, gotten told that I have sickle cell trait or anything about sickle cell. So that's why I'm listening to her story and I'm like, wow, because I have no doubts that he's the father. Because I have, pictures to show, like, as a child, my babies look like him and his other child. So I have pictures to even show. Can I show you those?
Let me see that evidence, please, ma'am. Thank you, Jerome. So what you've submitted to the court today, you say are pictures.
The one on the right looks like him in the middle, and my daughter looks like his son.
So that's Mr. Norris as a child in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And the twins on either side.
Yep. His baby pictures looks like my baby pictures.
All right, this is definitely quite a mystery. I think the only way to move forward is to get the results.
Yes, ma'am.
Jerome, may I have the envelope, please? In the case of Kelly versus Norris, when it comes to 4-month-old twins, Amara and Amia Kelly, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Norris, you are their father.
Sickle cell and all. Missed 4 months from that.
How does it feel, Mr. Norris, to finally know for certain that you were wrong in your assumption?
I got twin girls.
That's what I wanted to hear.
That's
Isn't that the bonus?
Yeah. I apologize for any inconvenience I've had to you, but it's time to figure out and get this show on the road, really. I mean, I've always wanted a girl, and to have two of them is a big deal. We'll make it work.
I know it's been a long road, Miss Kelly. Are you happy that he wants to be a part of the twins' life?
I still feel like I'm be the one that's having to do everything still. 'Cause I just...
You know, I know how it is to be a single parent. We made a mistake and we got to live with responsibilities, and who wouldn't want to live with those two responsibilities? You know what I'm saying? So
This case was a shocker. I don't know the results. And I was rooting for these twins. It's so easy to hear a medical fact and just assume, well, it's not me. I've never heard that. And so while I understood how when you went to the hospital and thought you got the answer, we still don't know between the two of you who's the carrier of the trait.
One of the parents has to have sickle cell trait. We should find out.
And as the doctor just said, you two should find out. Ultimately, you have two beautiful little girls together.
thank you.
I know it's gonna take you, and he's smiling from ear to ear. I know you can barely look at him, Miss Kelly, but he really is smiling from ear to ear. And I think that's a good beginning, okay? Ms. Arbogast, you are in court today claiming the defendant started denying your 2-year-old daughter, Kinsley, once he got into a relationship with your former friend.
Yes,
You
Your Honor.
claim the defendant has ignored the needs of your children, so you are suing for the maximum amount of $5,000 for child care expenses. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vess, you are here to testify the plaintiff's promiscuous behavior is the reason you believe you are not Kinsley's father, and until proven otherwise, you refuse to financially support her. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Arbogast, has the defendant helped at all financially?
If you say $100 over 2 years helping, then, I mean, if that's in his eyes, yeah.
$100 over 2 years?
No, he hasn't really helped at all.
You haven't been helping at all, Mr. Vess?
No, because how can I take care of somebody's daughter that may or may not be mine?
Okay, well, just because you don't want to take care of our daughter, we still have a 3-year-old son that you haven't helped for either.
So you have another baby too,
Yes.
and there's no question as to the paternity of that child.
No, Your Honor.
But
No.
do you help financially with that child?
I have in the past, but recently, no, I have not.
You have not helped in the past, not at all. You've helped $100 per both kids in 2 years, 2 years.
So if you don't have doubts about the older child, why are you not at least providing for that child?
I have been providing for that child, but
When?
recently I have been having bills and everything else that, you know,
How much money do you say you've contributed to Kinsley?
Kinsley, probably $100.
Okay, so she's right.
No,
Yeah.
he hasn't. He's claimed $100 for Cameron and Kinsley.
100 for Kinsley. I've spent a heck of a lot more on Cameron than that.
No, you haven't.
Actually, you have no say in this. You don't know me and you barely know her.
Oh, he barely knows me. I dated him for 1.5 years in middle school, and I'm sorry, when
Okay,
you
but
walked
he
in
doesn't
my
know
door,
me.
when
He
you
has
walked
no
in
right to
my
say
door
anything.
2 months ago, and our 3-year-old son looks up at you and says, "Who are you?" Oh, and then he turns around and says, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and that would
right,
be
you're
your
my
fault.
father." No, that's not my fault. You've been the absentee of his life.
Yeah, and all.
Let me understand this. And Mr. Fritz is your current boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say he's the person helping you raise
Yes.
Mr. Vess's children.
Yes, he's the one who they wake up to every morning. He's the one who takes them out, does things with them, plays football with them. He does the father role, not Mr. Vess.
You've taken an active role in the children's life.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many times have you witnessed Mr. Vess financially support his children?
One time since I've been in their lives for the last 7 months, and that was $20 for pull-ups and diapers.
So you've developed a bond with the children.
Yes, I have.
And Kinsley's 2,
Yes.
that's about the time they start saying, "Dad, Dad."
Yes, Your Honor.
So
She knows no other man as dad besides him because he has refused to claim her. But he's the one who signed the birth certificate
But
in
you're
the
the
hospital.
one that makes
he did not
all your other
decide
boyfriends
to not,
call,
he did
call
not
dad by
decide
them.
to disown her until he left me to get with her, and then all of a sudden, oh, that's not my baby.
So wait a minute, take me back. You were in a relationship.
Yes. We got in a relationship in 2012. We got pregnant with our firstborn in November. We had him in August of 2013. I don't know if you older people do it, but us young people, we go at it like rabbits.
So you older people.
Obviously, he wanted...
Jerome, is that us?
That's anybody older than
Not me. I'm not old.
Shoot.
So, he obviously wanted it a lot, so I gave it. Our date of conception was between August 11th and August 13th. Then he told me I couldn't be friends with somebody I had been friends with for 9 years. He told me if you to go have sex with him, that's the only way to break your emotional connection. And I have witnesses, plenty of witnesses, who can attest to him saying this and have heard him say it.
Wait a minute. You say Mr. Vess told you
Yes.
the only way to break the connection you had with this friend, but
Told
he
him to
says
come
you
pick
need to
me
go
up.
have sex with him.
Yeah, to break the emotional and physical bond of friendship that I had with this man. But then he
What?
decided, but the whole pregnancy.
Who gave you this advice, Mr. Vess? Where'd you come up with this?
No, I never said that. That never came out of my mouth.
Yo, yes, it did.
So listen, August sex with Mr. Vess.
Yes.
Then he tells you to sleep with the other friend.
I did not have sex with this other man until August 29th. And our conception date was August 11th to the 13th, in between them days.
So wait, how did this happen then? You just go up to this guy and say, my boyfriend says we should have sex.
It was late at night. He came and got me. We went to the lake and, we went to the gas station, bought condoms, went to the lake, did our deal, and I went back home and got in bed with him. Took a shower and then got in bed. And he was all good.
You say she's making this up?
Yeah, I do. We were arguing about something, I don't know exactly what. I got mad, and I told her that she should go and, be with somebody else if she wanted to be. I guess she took me serious.
When did you find out about him?
After we broke up.
He knew that same night. I was at the lake. He was texting me the whole time, baby, when are you coming home? What time are you gonna be here?
When I get done having sex with the person you told me to go have sex with. He doesn't even make any sense.
He knew about it. That's the thing. He says he didn't know. He knew about it.
You do admit to having sex with this other guy.
Yeah.
Did you use protection? You
Yeah.
said you guys stopped to get condoms.
Yes.
So you used protection with the other guy.
Yeah. But I was already pregnant at the time I had sex with this other man. He's sitting on the couch in the hospital, holding her after she's born. He held her before I held her.
Yeah, I thought she was
Then-
my daughter until you told me that she wasn't.
I never once told you
It was
she
on
wasn't your daughter.
speakerphone.
What did she say, Mr. Vess?
We were on speakerphone and she blurted out that Kinsley may not be mine.
Ms. Glover, I'd like to know if you know anything about when Mr. Vess found out that Kinsley may not be his biological daughter.
I don't know if it was out of anger or what, but yes, she did say it shortly after they broke up that Kinsley was possibly not his.
How old was Kinsley at this point?
At the time of our
Like-
split up, she was just shy of being 2 months old.
Did you ever tell him that she wasn't his?
No, I never once told him. If that wasn't his baby and I knew that wasn't his baby, why would I let him sign the birth certificate in the hospital?
So you signed the birth certificate, Mr. Vess?
Yes, Your Honor, because I thought it was mine. I thought she was mine.
I wanted him to also be a father to our son. When our 3-year-old son looked at him and said, "Who are you?" my heart shattered. Okay, that hurts. That's our 3-year-old. But yet he can be a father to her kids
I'd
and
be a
their
father
new
to my
baby.
son if I actually had a chance to see him. If you didn't
You
have
would
a
see
damn...
him if you were a constant role in his life. I'm not gonna just let you take our son when you haven't been around, because that is not comfortable to me. He knows me. He knows my boyfriend. He knows my family.
how long?
He doesn't know you.
And Mr.
So-
Vess, you're just jealous because you got replaced as a boyfriend and as a
And
father.
you will too.
Oh,
In
no,
a matter
we
of
won't.
time, you will be replaced.
Oh, no, we
3
won't.
boyfriends in how many years?
I've had 2
3.
until him.
We have been asking for a DNA test since the time she told us that Kinsley was possibly not his.
No.
I heard it firsthand. He was sitting in my house along with other people.
And that's when he was on the speakerphone?
Yes.
And what were her words exactly?
Kinsley is possibly not even yours, is what she said. He automatically hung up the phone and walked out of the room in tears.
You say it's pathetic that you still don't want to grow up and claim your daughter. Mr. Vess responds, I would claim that thing if I knew she was mine. A thing?
Okay, but you want to see my son, but yet you want me to sign my rights away to him.
No, you're the one that said you was going to sign your rights.
No, I never once said
Yes.
that. I would never say that.
Yes, you did.
In the case of Arbogast versus Vess, it has been determined by this court.
Yeah, I thought she was my daughter until you told me that she wasn't.
I never once told
It
you
was
she
on
wasn't your
speakerphone.
daughter. I never once told you she was not your daughter. I never, ever, ever have told him that Kinsley is not his. I have been begging for a paternity test. I even asked him to go and buy one of those $35 kits off the shelf DNA paternity tests that you do at home and then you send it to a lab. Oh, I don't have the money for that.
Okay, but if you're the one begging for it, why didn't you go out
Because
and get it yourself?
because you're the one who denies her. So
Okay,
you
but
should pay for it.
I have been asking.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've been asking for a while for a paternity
Okay.
test.
No, you haven't. I have been begging you to be around, and you say, here, I have this text message right here that says, I would claim that thing if I knew she was mine. So you've been asking for the paternity test? No.
What do you have there, Miss Arbogast?
I have text messages of him.
Let me
the
see that.
disrespectful things he said. I also have proof of all the non-finances that he has not helped with that I have spent to put a roof over their head, bills paid, clothes on
So
their
these
back.
are text messages between you and Mr. Vess. Mm-hmm. You say it's pathetic that you still don't want to grow up and claim your daughter that you signed the birth certificate for. Mr. Vess responds, I would claim that thing if I knew she was mine. Miss Arbogast says, oh, so now she's just a thing. A thing? That could potentially be your daughter.
I shouldn't have said it. I was angry. And yeah, I regret saying that. I do.
No matter if you claim Kinsley or not, our sons still don't know you. How's that make you feel? He has no idea who you are.
They would know
You
who
haven't
I
been
am
around.
If you would allow me to see him.
I'm not gonna just let you have him when I don't know who you're gonna have him around and you haven't been around, so I'm not gonna just let him up and go with you.
But yet you want me to sign my rights away to him.
No,
I know-
you're the one that said you was going to sign your rights.
No, I never once said
Yes,
that.
you
I'm
did.
not
You
going to
did.
sign my rights away to my own son. I would never say that.
Yes, you did.
And you said it about Kinsley. If she wasn't yours, you were going to sign your rights away.
Yeah, if she's not mine, I'm going to sign my rights
and
away.
then now all of a sudden you want to change your story and say you're not going to sign your rights away if she is yours.
These 2 years are the most important years of bonding that you can get with her, and you haven't been there. She knows him as dad. She don't know you at all. She looks at you like you're a complete stranger.
So these were pictures that were submitted to the court. You believe, Mr. Vess, that you see a resemblance with Cameron, but not with Kinsley.
Yeah, I see the resemblance between Cameron and Kinsley because, yeah, they're siblings.
But do you have a resemblance with
But
Cameron?
I don't see a resemblance to myself and Kinsley.
You do not.
No.
Ms. Arbogast, do you have any doubt whatsoever?
I don't have any doubt that she's not his.
Because let's be honest, I mean, the window of time with which you slept with Mr. Vess and then the other guy is just about 2 weeks. You say you use protection, but we know that's not 100% guaranteed. Do you have any doubt at all?
I think in my heart, in my stomach, that I think that that is his baby.
Think or no? It's two different things.
I know that she is his just by looking at that face. And
But
even
you understand that I've got 2 people here now that say they heard you tell him this is not his biological child.
I've never once told him that that was not his baby. Never. Why would I let a man sign a birth certificate to a baby if I'm gonna turn around later and say that's not your baby? That makes no sense.
But why would you go sleep with another man at the
To make
direction
him
of one man?
To make him happy.
Yeah, you're sleeping with another
If
man.
that,
while I'm with you.
how in the
Yeah.
world is that gonna make him happy
Because
to
he's the
potentially
one
make
who-
a child with another
Because
man?
he's the one who told me to go do it and we use protection.
This logic is faulty. We had a lot of faulty logic today, Jerome.
I thought I heard it all.
Just faulty.
The only reason that I want to have these answers is because that little girl right there deserves to know who her biological father is. He says he's a father by DNA, but acting as one, he's absent.
And that must hurt you somewhat.
It does. It breaks my heart every day.
You don't ever want to think somebody is neglecting your child.
No.
That doesn't feel good at all.
When our son called him, actually, in November of last year, and Mr. Fritz was standing right there when it happened, called him on his birthday to tell him happy birthday. Bubby asked Sissy, he said, Sissy, you want to talk to Daddy? He straight told our 3-year-old, that's not my daughter.
Mr. Vess, I know you aren't talking about paternity issues in front of 3-year-olds.
No, I'm not.
So you're
Yes,
saying
you
that
did.
never
No,
happened?
y'all just want to make me the bad person because I'm the one standing here, wondering if that's my daughter or not.
I was standing right next to her on
I don't
the
care if
phone
you were
when
standing
you
right
said
there.
it.
You
You
are in
said-
bed with her, so yeah, you're going to say what she wants you to
told
say.
our 3-year-old son, that's not my daughter. And I said, what am I supposed to tell him? And you said, well, you can explain it to him when he's older.
Just
Do you have any
because- and just
witnesses
because
that are
I sleep
mutual?
in the same bed as her doesn't mean I'm going to agree with everything she says.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So listen, I can see this is going to keep going on until we get the results. And I have those results for you. Jerome?
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Even when there was a paternity question related to Kinsley, there was not one related to Cameron, and you still weren't showing up for him. That's gotta stop now. It really does. Everything is connected to not just the mother, but to the father as well.
These 2 years are the most important years of bonding that you can get with her, and you haven't been there. She looks at you like you're a complete stranger.
Y'all just want to make me the bad person because I'm the one wondering if that's my daughter or not.
In the case of Arbogast versus Vess, when it comes to 2-year-old Kinsley Vess, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Vess, you are the father.
I see.
This situation's got to change. You guys are gonna have to figure out how to end this war because Kinsley's losing. Ms. Arbogast,
Yes,
for
Your
2
Honor.
years, you've taken care of this child by yourself.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
presented expenses for $5,000 even. And they are all expenses that you need to raise a child. My ruling is for the plaintiff for $5,000.